once again. NC State won the toss. They defer. They want to put their defense out there first. Colin Smith puts toe to leather, and we're underway. And Mark talked about it in the open. Kyron Drones, he transferred in himself in the offseason from Baylor. We'll get a chance to see his wares at quarterback for the Hokies.
Yeah, and he's a really good runner, as we talked about in the open, but he can also throw a really good deep ball, right? It's kind of the in-between pass routes over the middle of the field that he hasn't taken that step yet in his game. But over the last last 3 games, he has started to show more proficiency in handling the total offense. Tyler Bowen is going to open up the playbook for him today.
Drones in the gun. He'll throw on first down. Has a receiver. It's Da'Quan Felton. Short gain on first down, maybe a couple of yards. Davon Boykin coming up from the safety spot to make the tackle.
Da'Quan Felton's a wide receiver for them. They're just really excited he's starting to get going, right? Last game, he had 4 catches for 100+ yards in the game against Boston College, and he is that big play threat. He's that down-the-field shot that they want to take in this game.
Drones looks to the sideline, now changes it up with his offensive line. Gonna feed Tootin. Nothing doing. Peyton Wilson right there, number 11 in white, to drop him at the line of scrimmage. Drones kept it that time, put it in the belly of Tootin, decided to keep it, got nowhere with it.
He's talking smack already. You know, we're going to be talking about him throughout the night, but you see the intensity, and you see the rankings, third down rankings right here as
not
NC
in
State
Virginia Tech's favor.
No, and as NC State shows pressure, they'll do this a lot. This Tony Gibson team will send guys and leave their cornerbacks on islands.
Pressure on the edge. Drones has to get rid of it quickly. He does to Felton, but he's swallowed up by that defense. Savion Jackson, along with Peyton Wilson, with good pursuit, and Virginia Tech is going to have to force. It's going to be forced to punt after a 3 and out.
Yeah, and watching the middle of the field, number 11, he gets there, but good job setting the edge. Peyton Wilson cleans it up. Bunch of guys, Savion Jackson in on that play, and this Wolfpack defense, I mean, they will fly around. Really good conversations with Tony Gibson just on effort and how much he emphasizes that with his guys.
Good pressure, but Moore gets it off and gets a really good kickoff. Jalen Coyle with the fair catch at his own 28. NC State is going to bring on the offense after a 45-yard punt, no return. Here's Brennan Armstrong.
Yeah, Brennan Armstrong, 4-year starter, Shelby High School in Ohio, and then this is where at UVA 2 years ago when everybody found out who Brennan Armstrong was. He had absolutely massive numbers with then offensive coordinator Robert Anae, and then Anae left for Syracuse. Brennan Armstrong had a down year at Virginia last year, and when Robert Anae came to NC State, they brought the quarterback along, Brennan Armstrong.
Let's not forget about Armstrong's running ability. He's showing it right here on first down. Picks up a solid 9 yards before Norrell Pollard is able to bring him downfield. And these defensive coaches for Virginia Tech talked about how he's a little bit of a different type of an animal than Castellanos at Boston College, who they faced last week. You got to contain Castellanos. With this guy, you got to bring him down.
Yeah, you got to bring down. I mean, both guys are difficult to bring down, right? But you can still rush the passer with Brennan Armstrong. He's not as slippery and elusive, but he is a power runner. And on 2nd and 1, right? I love shots, but this could be a situation where he runs the ball again.
He's going to do it, and he's going to pick up the first down and more. Banged down at his own 46 by Nasir Peoples, moving the chains.
And what you're going to get from Brennan Armstrong, right? This is kind of how they've used him in that 4-game stretch where MJ Morris was the starter, was they would bring Armstrong in quarterback run situations to take a little pressure, physical pressure off of MJ Morris. And so when MJ Morris decides to redshirt, they have this package still on offense where he is running the football. But now I know that Robert Anae has more wrinkles in there than just watching Brennan Armstrong run it. Look for a very creative type offense today from NC State.
Give up the middle. Good for about 4 yards. Kendrick Raphael on the carry. NC State without their leading rusher today, and Michael Allen. Although Robert and there's a good look at the offensive coordinator. He'll throw out Delbert Mims, Kendrick Raphael, Jordan Houston. He's got a slew of backs he can use.
Yeah, he does, and this is one of the most creative and cerebral coaches that we've had a chance of calling and talking to, and he'll use his players wherever he sees fit, right? Number 10, Kevin Concepcion, KC Concepcion, be prepared for him to touch the ball a lot.
Here he is right here taking the pitch, and he's going to get dropped for a loss. They lined him up in the backfield, Mark, and Keontae Jenkins says, I got the measure of him.
Yeah, and this is how they want to use him, right? Put him all over the field. He's in the backfield, gets the pitch, but Virginia Tech all week has been cluing into, okay, we need to know where number 10 is, right? He's going to line up in the slot and motion out wide. He's going to line up in the backfield and then motion out. And so they were clued in, and good job by Jenkins taking him down. On third down, watch where number 52 is, Antoine Powell-Ryland. He is the transfer from Florida for Virginia Tech. Right here, who wreaks havoc in the backfield.
Third down and 9. Delayed blitz, they bring 5, and Armstrong tried to go downfield, incomplete. Derek Canteen on the coverage. APR, Antoine Powell-Ryland applied the pressure on Armstrong, forced the overthrow to Collins.
Yeah, and we talked about, okay, let's look at where he is, right? He's in this stand-up position. Watch this move. Brennan Armstrong had no chance to hold the ball any longer. Watch that matchup where they put APR.
Just gave Armstrong a little love tap there at the end just to let him know he was there. He was going to be there all day. Virginia Tech's defense forcing a punt, and it's a good one. Caden Nunchester out of the back of the end zone for the touchback. Defense is to the fore early here in Blacksburg. Scoreless between Virginia Tech and NC State.
Greatness is a feat.
And here's Drones trying to lead Virginia Tech to a bowl game, coming into 5-5, needing one more to become eligible. They love to do it today. Swing pass out to Jalen Lane. Gets hammered at the 28, but a good pickup on first down.
All right, watch here. Great block on the outside. That's Gosnell, and just a really good job of getting that pressure as the safety, Devin Boykin, came inside. That opened up the edge for Jalen Lane.
Second down and a little over a yard. Drones keeps it. Still on his feet out to the 40. Peyton Wilson makes the stop, 11 yards on the carry. They'll move the sticks.
Little fake pitch to the outside, got the linebackers moving. You saw Peyton Wilson just took that extra stutter step, and great job of finding the crease up the middle. Good first down pickup by Drones. It's not easy to fool these linebackers. Such a veteran linebacker group. Peyton Wilson, Devon Betty's a junior, Jalen Scott, another senior in there.
Empty backfield. Lane again. Makes a good move to avoid a defender. Tracked down from behind for Devon Betty.
You're starting to get a sense of what Virginia Tech's doing, right? They're making the defense go east and west, sideline to sideline, and then they're trying to hit some runs up the middle with their quarterback, Kyron Drones. And no passes have been thrown downfield yet at all. It's all been these kind of bubble quick screens to the side. I think as they get closer to midfield, look for a shot downfield.
Drones is going to keep it. Tackled for a 1-yard loss.
Peyton Wilson there again. And tried the little fake pitch against him, and he said, look, I've been around long enough. You're not going to fool me twice. And that looks like a linebacker right there with half of the field in his face mask.
Already, I think about when he first started here, you had Isaiah Moore and Drake Thomas, now both in the NFL, flanking him at that linebacker spot.
The pressure coming. Safety's creeping down.
Pack brings it. Drones is going to throw. Hand is hit as he throws it. Dangerous pass, and Gosnell was coming back to it. Wasn't able to squeeze him. Shaheen Battle was there defending on the play. Looked like Davin Van maybe got his hand on it.
Yeah, it could have been
Red Hibbler.
Yeah, Red Hibbler, the JUCO transfer, he did. Yeah, he got a little bit of piece on that football. And you see Drones check his arm. Yep, that's what I felt.
Strange formation here for Virginia Tech, ultimately leading to Peter Moore back to punt. Coyle again set to return it, standing on his own 21. Moore had a hard time handling the snap, but gets off a good kick. Coyle again with the fair catch, made at his 15. 43 yards on the kick, 0 on the return. NC State back with it scoreless when we come back.
Right, it's okay. Now it's not your left tackle that needs to be ready for that isolation. It's your right tackle, right? So switching back and forth during the season, it's difficult to do.
Armstrong underneath hits Da'Quan Felton, who we'll see more and more of, and we have as the season has progressed. 86 in white, the transfer from Clemson. Our ACC standings, Louisville got the W in South Florida, and it was not easy. They had to have a goal line stand, and they had to survive a Hail Mary that was caught on the 5-yard line at the end of that game to get the dub, but they did. So now we're set. Florida State and Louisville will play for the ACC championship in Charlotte. Concepcion in the backfield, going to get the carry here. He's able to move the chains as he gets it beyond the 25. Keontae Jenkins on the tackle. He's only 187 pounds listed, Mark.
Yeah, but he's got great vision, right? I think that's one thing that sets him apart as being a wide receiver, the ability to do the things in the backfield that he does. It's his vision, and not everyone is built with that, right? Sometimes it takes people years and years to figure that out, but as a true freshman, Robert and I and Dave Doran have been so impressed with his ability to do multiple things in this offense.
Again, lining up in the backfield with Armstrong. Fakes the pitch to him. Now he'll throw it out to him. Concepcion shows you that speed, out of bounds, close to the 30, chased out of bounds by Alan Tisdale. He's our player spotlight brought to you by Carvana today, and why not? He's only a true freshman coming out of Charlotte, Mark, and I think a lot of people still have yet to be introduced to KC Concepcion, so it makes sense for us to say, hey, look at these numbers. 50 catches, freshman record at NC State. 6 touchdowns, freshman record at NC State.
Yeah, and think about where he stands, right? It's just like that amongst true freshmen in the FBS. I mean, he's up towards the top of the list, and he'd get my vote for Rookie of the Year in the ACC this year.
Tisdale brings down Mims. Only picked up about a yard, so it'll bring up 3rd down. Both these defenses have been very good here early and getting off the field on 3rd down.
Yeah, they have, and it's been, pressure on the quarterbacks, and Brennan Armstrong tried to put the ball downfield on the last 3rd down, but APR had pressure in his face. Let's see if Virginia Tech tries to rush 4 again and drop back in coverage. There's Concepcion right there in the slot.
Armstrong to throw. Pressure picked up. Couldn't get it to a receiver, but flagged down in the backfield. I think they're going to get Derek Canteen here for interference.
Holding, defense, number 13, 10-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
First time we've heard from Jeff Heiser today, our referee.
Yep, with that left arm on that shoulder and restricted the movement. Really good route run by Da'Quan Felton. This defensive backfield for Virginia Tech, I mean, they've been playing well. Last game, Dorian Strong, number 44, had 2 interceptions against Boston College in the 1st quarter. That really set the tone for that entire game.
Armstrong rolling the pocket. Raphael stays in the block, gives him a block on the edge, and Armstrong was able to scamper for a couple. Burgos and Kendricks were there to chase him out of bounds.
And Chris, this offense, if you watched NC State in the beginning of the year, their offense, regardless of quarterback, it's completely different. Right? I think that's something that Dave Doran wanted, because Robert and I, this creative coach, really just didn't know what he had to work with. He didn't know his players early on in the year. And during the bye week after the loss to Duke, Dave Doran told him, look, open it up, let loose, be creative. And that's what he's been able to do in the past couple weeks.
Armstrong on the draw. Defended well by Virginia Tech. Jenkins again coming up to make the stop, forcing yet another third down. 3rd and 5.
And honestly, in this game so far, it's been kind of vanilla, right? I kind of expected a little bit more from NC State, and as the game goes on, be ready for double passes, be ready for reverses, be ready for KC Concepcion to take a direct snap. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen when Robert Nye is calling these plays. There's a big one here on 3rd down. Look at this pressure.
Hokies bring it. It's picked up enough for Armstrong to get it off, but his receiver wasn't watching. Get Anthony Smith in the foot.
You're bringing 6 guys and just not enough dudes to block. Good job of Brennan Armstrong stepping up into the pocket to be able to get the ball off. That time you saw C.J. McCray transfer from Marshall, getting that pressure off the edge.
Another punt. Kester with the kick. High, short kick. Fair catch forced by Holloway. Makes it at the 15. And we'll see Virginia Tech on offense again when we come back. Way too much hair. Never has really worked out for me, you know?
Right. Yep. Yeah, humble brag.
Hey, you could have a lot of hair too. It's your choice not to go down that route.
Humble brag. I do have a turkey hat. Like that.
You'll put it in, well, you're all about costumes. We know that
guy.
because of your family's affinity for Halloween.
Yep.
Gain of 3 on 1st down for Kyron Drones. Drones is going to throw. Quickly has his tight end. Da'Quan Wright makes the catch, and they'll move the stick. Sherry Burris, she's got a head full of beautiful hair down there. Now, it's blowing in all kinds of different directions because of the wind today, but she's got an update for us on Drones. What's going on, Sherry?
Thank you for the compliment, Chris. Well, it's fun to say. Coach Fry told us he's most impressed with his quarterback, Kyron Drones, is his decision-making. We saw it there quick to get the ball out of his hands. And Coach telling us, obviously, he has a great skill set. He's poised and not putting the ball in dangerous positions. And he will even say, Kyron will say, he's a work in progress. He has a high ceiling, just getting better every time.
Drones going to the 2nd level. And Da'Quan Wright couldn't bring it in. Peyton Wilson in coverage. Well thrown ball, though, from Drones.
Yeah, it was. And, it's a really good concept, right? This is kind of what we're talking about. It's a good job. It's leaking him back, the tight end back out, and he's covered by Peyton Wilson, who's going to cover him. And Peyton Wilson just does a really good job of getting through the traffic, right? You see him working through Felton and making his way to the tight end. That's a tricky one for a linebacker with all that traffic. Good job by Peyton Wilson.
2nd and 10. Lane on the end around. Does a nice job of following his blocks. Give his offense a 3rd manageable. Wilson again on the tackle. He is racking them up here already.
Before this drive, there was only 8 plays. He had 4 tackles and 1.5 TFLs. He's got another tackle here. He is all over the place.
On 3rd down, Virginia Tech wants to go quickly. Drones gets swallowed up. Only got back to the line of scrimmage. Brandon Cleveland did a nice job of working off blocks and bringing him down.
Yeah, and again, Peyton Wilson does a great job of stepping in front of the intended receiver. Watch him right there, just right in front of number 9, Felton, and that was the pass that Drones wanted to go to and wasn't able to because of the good play.
Peter Moore again in the punt. Coyle waiting to receive it at his 32. Coyle's going to call a fair catch at the 36. And NC State will come back on offense, just 33 yards on the kick. As the wind, as we mentioned, is swirling down there on the field here at Lane Stadium. Armstrong with another opportunity in this offense. Talking to Coach Doran this week, he said, quote, "We've got a bunch of crazy stuff this game."
Yeah, right.
I don't think we've seen very much of it just yet.
No, we haven't. And honestly, it feels like NC State's been playing it pretty safe, and they don't want to have what happened to Boston College last week where they throw interceptions early. I think they got to put a little bit more trust in Brennan Armstrong's arm and allow him to throw the ball downfield to loosen up this front 7 for Virginia Tech.
Just 2 for 4 for 9 yards so far for Armstrong. Now he's going downfield and well covered on the play. Too well covered. Jalen Jones is going to draw the flag.
There's a flag on the play. Pass interference. Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, they're trying to go to the freshman Juice Vereen, number 11. And you got a little bit of a grab early in that. And, you know, it's interesting. Juice Vereen, he's a guy on this offense that, again, Robert and I always has these interesting names. It's called the flexi position. What's flexi mean? It's basically like, hey, you're big enough to be a tight end, but you run like a receiver, the 6'4", 215-pound wide receiver. They'd love to get him involved.
First time either team has been in the opposing team's territory in this game. NC State operates from the 49. Armstrong under pressure, avoids it. Does well just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Virginia Tech brought the pressure. Kelly Lawson, the former wide receiver, on the tackle.
Yeah, Kelly Lawson. Yeah, good job, first of all, by Brennan Armstrong avoiding the pressure. Only rushing 4, and you see Kendricks get in there, and there, boom. You got a nice shot there from the linebacker, Kelly Lawson, and
he's down. He might have hurt his arm. Looks like he's favoring that right arm.
Yeah.
On that tackle, you could see him as a receiver, can't you, with that body type?
Yeah.
I mean, he's 6'4", 223.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, he put on a little bit of weight since moving to linebacker, but anytime you're tackling Brennan Armstrong, I mean, he's more physical than he appears, right? He's 6'2", 212 pounds. He's not overly large for a quarterback, but he runs hard, and when you hit him, it tends to seem like it feels like you're hitting a brick wall.
Lawson is holding that arm as the Virginia Tech staff comes out to take a look at their linebacker. All right, coming up next, the ACC Huddle crew. Going to be on tap with highlights and complete breakdowns of all the afternoon games, getting you set for Syracuse and Georgia Tech at 8 o'clock Eastern. Then after the game, it's a full post-game wrap-up, of course, on the ACC Network and streaming live on that ESPN app. Good look at Lane Stadium here today. Fifth sellout of the season. The only non-sellout was a Thursday night game here earlier in the year. They tend to do this. 65,500 people plus.
Senior day today. Saw a bunch of these Virginia Tech players going to play in their last home game.
Second down and 10. Look at the motion from KC Concepcion. Now he gets it on the back end and a lot of room to run. Inside the 40, inside the 35. Taken down to the 33 by Nasir Peoples. Well, there's a little wrinkle pre-snap.
Yeah, and KC Concepcion, he's going to be here. You see it. But look, watch the linebackers not adjust over, right? The linebacker blitz, someone has to come out for that new element out of the backfield. Quarter. Good job. That's a little bit of that Robert and I wrinkle in there, finding the open space for his playmaker.
And we saw it right at the end of the first quarter mark, and for the first time today, we've got a team threatening, and it's NC State on the road. Still scoreless after 1.
We have a special guest today on ESPN.
The second quarter here after a 16-yard pitch and catch to end the first. That's the longest play from scrimmage all game long. Flea flicker here. Armstrong's got a receiver wide open down the right sideline. Big hit. But able to make the completion. That was Trent Penix, tight end, sort of that tight end fullback hybrid.
There he is. He's going to leak out, but there's a lot that happens before that. It's the double reverse pass, and Keontae Jenkins just loses his man, and that's more of what we're talking about. The craziness that Dave Doran said that Robert and I had planned for us today.
Guys got Concepcion in the backfield, and Raphael split wide left. Concepcion on the carry. Just dances his way for a few. Inside the 10, they'll mark him at the 8. Mansour Delane on the tackle. Hokies can pick up a first down at about the 2.5-yard line. So to keep that in mind as they've now matriculated inside the 10, and this is a place where they finish off drives, Mark, when they get inside the 10.
I mean, they sure do. You see that 14 touchdowns out of 17 attempts. They know how to get it done. Look at this formation.
Yeah, what's going on here?
This is the pod. They got a whole pod up there. Look for this one-on-one route at the bottom.
Little push pass. Concepcion runs into the back of his own man, but gets inside the 5. Canteen brought him down, and he's going to be a little bit shy of the yard to gain.
Creativity again. That's one of those ones where you bring everybody out to the side to try to get some numbers, and you're counting on your guy to make a guy miss. Good job by Virginia Tech, shutting that one down. 3rd and 2.
Packer 0 for 2 on 3rd down so far today. Mims trying to find a place to run, bounces it outside. Brought down. I think he's going to be shy of the yard to gain. Keontae Jenkins got there, and it's going to be 4th down.
Great job by the front of Virginia Tech. You see the big guys up front creating a wall, and then all the way from the backside, Keontae Jenkins tracks down the ball carrier, and just such a good job of continuing to keeping it bouncing wide. And they're going to have to probably do it again, because on 4th and 1, NC State is keeping their offense on the field. What an opportunity for this Virginia Tech defense to get a stop.
Jordan Poole in motion. Armstrong's going to keep it, but the play is going to be whistled dead. Armstrong got into the end zone, but they're going to blow this one dead before the snap.
Before the snap, timeout, Virginia Tech.
Hokies called a timeout to talk things over. It's a good thing for them they did. Scoreless, 4th down when we come back.
Greatness is a feeling.
Right up the middle.
He's got Concepcion in the backfield.
An unbalanced formation. Everybody's over to the left-hand side.
Now an empty backfield, and Armstrong will roll. He'll throw it. Has Concepcion. Does he get in? Touchdown.
Well, there you go. KC Concepcion, a little bit of a wrinkle from Robert and I. Everyone's
rolling on the
thinking
field
run,
is a touchdown.
and he overloads that left-hand side, and just basically it's a toss play, getting him out on the edge. And you saw those last 2 plays. NC State was trying to get numbers. First time they put the pods out there, this one with the unbalanced formation, and good job by Concepcion getting the ball in the end zone.
Good job by our cameraman, Will. Hung in there, right on the goal line as Concepcion was coming hard and fast his way. Man, Concepcion is all over the field.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you just got to watch number 10 on offense and number 11 on defense.
That's a great look right there by Will before he got annihilated by Concepcion. I'm sure he's fine. He's a gamer. Braden Arbison with the PAT. It's good. So NC State jumps out on top. It took a little while, but we saw a lot of that creativity on that drive, and it ends up for 6 and a lead for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, you know, really, this is where we saw that bag of tricks come out from Robert and I, and just a bunch of different things on that offensive drive, but consistently what it was okay, let's have number 5 and number 10 handle the football, right? Whether it's going to be, an unbalanced situation or a quarterback run, there are 2 guys that he really trusts with the football, and this is kind of what we're talking about. These are kind of the plays that we get, and this is the one, Mims gets stuffed on that inside play. So what do? They want to spread it out and get people in open space. And that's why they had this little pitch and catch to Concepcion, and a lot of trust in their quarterback, Brennan Armstrong, who has not been known for really the passing here at NC State. It's been mostly on the ground. Great head of hair on that KC Concepcion.
Colin Smith to kick off. Tootin from his 7. Takes it out to the 25. It's Virginia Tech offense. Got to find something here, Mark. 2 first downs on their first 3 drives, 0 for 3 on third down, and they've been forced to punt it away every time.
Yeah, and just have not gotten a lot going through the air. So NC State is having their safeties kind of creep around the line of scrimmage, and they're bringing a lot more of these run pressures, right? Kind of a little bit different than the pass pressure where you want to get up the field. These run pressures are doing run first, and Tony Gibson's been having a field day with them.
Getting out to Tootin, and he is dropped by Wilson. Read that perfectly. He was on Bashal Tootin almost before the ball got there.
Well, it's awareness, right? It's awareness of what your job is on the field. And, Peyton Wilson, look, he's lined up on the edge, and he just does such a good job of feeling out the play. Okay, I'm rushing. No, wait, it's a screen. And I take my eyes off of my pass rush and go right there. And that's kind of that run pressure we're talking about. That's basically a pitch, and Peyton Wilson plays it perfectly.
2.5 TFLs so far on the day for Wilson. Tootin. Flag down in the backfield. Bangs his way to the 27. Let's check the marker, though, before once again Wilson makes the tackle.
There are 2 fouls in the play, both on the offense. Illegal shift, offense, have penalties to climb. Holding, offense, number 68. Penalties half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
Center Caden Moore guilty of the hold. Coach Pry can do nothing but shake his head right now as his offense is in reverse.
And it hurts that much more when you are a run attack team, right? It just makes it that much harder to get the yards on the ground. And they have capable wide receivers and a capable quarterback. Really, they really do. But you're going against an NC State defense whose defensive backfield are playing some of the best football in the ACC right now.
Drones to throw. Tries to set up a little underneath screen to Da'Quan Wright.
You got to do that on the other side of the field from where Peyton Wilson is. To be completely honest, you got a guy like Wilson, right some of the left side of your screen. You're running a screen play to him. He has seen too much. He's the best linebacker you're going to face all year. Have the screen go away from him, right? You know he's going to line up on the short side of the field a lot of times, and you want to make sure you don't have the ball go near him, and that's got to be the game plan going forward.
Now Virginia Tech is completely discombobulated.
Offense, number 61, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That time it was Caden's brother Braylon guilty of the false start. Virginia Tech is just facing a 3rd, and I don't know, Georgia Tech math doesn't go that high. Can you help me out on that, Sean? Our stats guy from Syracuse. That's got to be about 25, 27.
I love how our spotter just pointed at the screen on the TV.
Yeah.
Just
it's
read,
TV,
Chris.
Read the graphic. It's a long way. Drones is going to try and get it himself. And he might have been one slip tackle away from getting there, but Devon Boykin makes the stop, and Virginia Tech is once again forced to punt. 2nd 3 and out on the afternoon for the Hokies, and maybe a little bit of frustration there. And this is part of the problem that Coach Pry talked about in the Louisville game. They came out, they got punched in the mouth, and didn't handle it very well. Last week against Boston College on the road, it was the opposite. They came out strong, they finished runs, they finished blocks and tackles. And this week it's kind of a reversion back to what we saw in Louisville a couple of weeks ago.
They are 1-4 on the year, and they've been shut out in the first quarter. And starting hot is important for Virginia Tech, and they have got to find a way to bounce back.
Wolfpack back with the ball on offense when we come back.
State for our students, just phenomenal, selfless move by him and his family, and just a really class act by Coach Doran.
Yeah, in his 11th season with the NC State Wolfpack, winning as coach in school history. Armstrong looking to throw, dumps it off underneath. That's his running back, Raphael. Picks up about 5 before Tisdale is able to bring him down, but just to get back to Dave Doran, the success he's had As this team is shifting all over the place, this is what you expect to see. A lot of pre-snap motion, and you're getting it from this Robert and I offense. But just to tie a bow on what we've seen from Dave Doran, I mean, 11 years here. He's bowl eligible for the 9th time in those 11 years. I mentioned the winningest coach. He's just part of the fabric now of this institution in Raleigh. Look at Armstrong. And he is as well. He was benched, as Sherry said in the open earlier in the year. MJ Morris decides to take his red shirt, and Armstrong, since coming back, has been strong.
Yeah, and talking to coaches about it, and they really said, look, last year, the lack of success that Brennan Armstrong had at Virginia, it hurt him, right? And then when he started off slow at NC State, you kind of got in a mental rut. And coach said, look, Brennan didn't even realize he needed the break. And the 4-game break for him, just massive amounts of mental improvement, of physical improvement, just a confidence in himself to do the things that he does well, like this, right? Run the ball. Let's not force the ball out there. And I thought a really interesting quote they said. He said to coach, he said, look, I realize now that I can just play the game. I don't have to win the game. Right? Like, I can't think of a more freeing type quote from a quarterback of like, hey, I'm watching what our defense is doing, and I don't have to do everything. Let me just be myself out there.
What do you got for us, Sherry?
Mark, you were talking about it. Armstrong telling me that he had to remind himself this is still a kid's game. He is not tying himself to just being a quarterback. Obviously, football is his life, and he enjoys playing it, but he's trying to also just remember he's having fun out there playing football, and we're seeing that.
Taking what the defense gives him. First down for NC State. That catch was made by Bradley Rosner. 6 straight completions now for Brennan Armstrong, so he's getting into a rhythm. To your point, Mark, on first down, I thought that was, as soon as he made that play and you were talking, I just pointed to the screen. I was like, 4 yards.
Yes.
Don't force it. Get 4 yards, and you're in a great spot on second down.
Yeah, great spot, and then you can get another quick pitch and catch to the outside. I heard someone say, look, being a game manager is looked at poorly at times, but when you can manage a game, it's actually a huge compliment. That was a nice run there by Raphael.
Yeah, now he's getting these tailbacks involved, right?
Oh, yeah.
So all quarterback runs early. Now Raphael's getting involved in addition to Concepcion, who's lining up in the backfield.
Yep, and you saw 39, Jordan McDonald, the defensive end, just had to widen, right? Widen to respect the run of Brennan Armstrong, and that takes one more defender out of the run attack against the running back. Inverted wishbone here.
Now they'll get out of it with Raphael flanking Armstrong. Armstrong's going to run it. Raphael in front of him to block. Gets inside the 5, powers his way to the 4. Antoine Powell-Ryland hanging on him, along with Delane. Second down and goal. Coming up for the Pack.
They're bringing in Jordan Poole, number 33, their linebacker turned fullback.
Delbert Mims. Now that's a lot of beef in the backfield right there, 34 and 33. Mims looking for a crease. Pushes the pile down inside the 2 to bring up 3rd and goal. Again, APR on the tackle along with Jalen Jones.
Yeah, how about Delbert Mims? The running back you mentioned, before this year, he had never scored a rushing touchdown. He scored 7 this year because he's that power back, and they're so good inside the 10, especially right here at the 1 or 2 yard line. It's really been give the ball to Mims and let him run someone over.
Still have yet to convert a 3rd down today, though, and see if they can do it here. Armstrong does it. Keeps it himself and increases the Wolfpack lead.
Well, there you go. You've been giving it to Mims, and this time you fake it to him. And just a great, decisive run by Brennan Armstrong. And, I mean, I'll tell you what, Dave Doran, he's a gruff shell a little bit. He's a very serious guy. And But he loves his players. And to watch Brennan Armstrong succeed like this, that's a big smile on his face.
And I'm sure he loved the converted linebacker and Jordan Poole paving the way. Arvidsson with the PAT, 14-0, NC State on top. Armstrong powers his way in untouched. All pack here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech won in the final minute as Armstrong was driving Virginia down for potentially the winning score. Wasn't able to get it done, but he had a huge game a couple of years ago up in Charlottesville. Tootin from his 4. Got some blocks. He's taken one the distance before against Florida State. Inside of NC State territory, and Tootin may have given the Hokies the spark they need.
They ran one back at Florida State. This one didn't quite get there, but this is, see Frank Beamer in the building. This is Beamer ball. Special teams, big play to give you a spark. And Bashal Tootin just is doing it all, right? He's Mr. Everything for this team, and transferring in from North Carolina A&T, and his return prowess sets up Virginia Tech really nicely.
49 yards on that return into Wolfpack territory, and Kyron Drones has completed 5 of his 7 passes on the day, but just 16 yards.
Yeah, they've all been just, quick bubble screens out to guys, and that's, really they've all they've allowed him to do so far. And I mentioned earlier he likes to throw the deep ball, and he's pretty accurate at it. But with the pressure that NC State is giving him on third down, it's just nothing. And you see, this is the deepest defender on the field.
Gonna try a little misdirection here. That's Xavier Turner Bradshaw. He's got blockers in front of him, and he's gonna score.
Wow, how about that run? I mean, we just showed it. They had nobody back, no safety help. And the son of my former teammate, Ahmad Bradshaw, took it to the house on the reverse. The redshirt freshman, you see him. He's just going to take it all the way over here, and there's going to be a seal, and no NC State players are going to be left. And there is just a wall of Virginia Tech blockers.
Parker Clements was like, who do I block?
No one even close. Man, what a play. What a call by Tyler Bowen, the offensive coordinator, understanding the aggressive Wolfpack defense was coming. He went around it the other way. Well, Tony Gibson said he was going to bring some run pressure, and this time he brings Sean Brown off the edge, but Brown's eyes are just too low, and he gets following the quarterback and misses the reverse man. And that's got to be his man on the contain on your edge. And just a really good play call and good execution by Virginia Tech.
Out on special teams, as you would expect at Virginia Tech. A lot of starters and top players playing special teams. Turner Bradshaw still getting the fans into it, as now they are back into it.
Hey, I mean, how do you get going in Blacksburg? You have a great kickoff return, and then you have a big kind of odd special play, and this crowd, they've seen this show before. They know that their Hokies can get going. And now, to see if they can bring a spark to this Hokies defense and if they can shut down this run game by Brennan Armstrong.
First 2 drives of the game, punts for NC State. Last 2 touchdowns. Armstrong going to run it. Has a blocker in front of him. And actually a nice job defensively by Jalen Stroman to avoid the block and make the tackle, because if he doesn't make that tackle, Armstrong might still be running.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he does a good job of coming off that outside block. You see 26 on the right side of your screen. Addresses the blocker and realizes, okay, he's not coming to me. Let me just dive inside. So Good job of not getting caught up on ghosts, and go tackle the ball carrier.
10 carries for 50 yards for Armstrong. Picked up just about 6 on that first down carry. Concepcion bounces off a defender. Now Armstrong's going to throw him a block. Still on his feet to about the 42-yard line. They'll move the sticks.
I mean, Concepcion, like, watch his acceleration. Right, he bumps into his own man, and then watch how fast he accelerates out of this turn. Zoom! That dude gets going. And Brennan Armstrong does a great job of just finding the guy to block. But when you have playmakers like KC Concepcion, it can turn a potentially devastating loss of yardage play into a first down.
Raphael. Josh Fuga just engulfs him. Big old Josh Fuga. He walked on senior day before the game today. Woodbridge, Virginia, one of the team captains of this Virginia Tech team.
See the huddle NC State's coming out of.
Is that what that's called?
The huddle. I love the huddle. Usually they purposely went to that huddle because they wanted their players to look in their quarterback's eyes and see that determination. It's paid off.
Pitch to Concepcion. Reads his blockers in front. Fights for an extra yard or two. Tisdale brings him down 2 yards shy of the first down.
Good block by Penix. Number 6, and again, it just shows the versatility of KC Concepcion. Every other play, he needs to come out and grab some water. This guy's working.
3rd down and 2. Clock inside of 2 minutes left to go in this first half. Armstrong will keep it. Pushes a blocker in front of him. First down. Wolfpack have all 3 timeouts on the board. Dave Doran elected not to use one here as they'll wind the clock on a first down.
It's the linebacker pool. He's the lead blocker. See him just does a good job of getting up to the safety and finding the running lane for his quarterback.
5 plays on this drive, all runs. Now Armstrong will look to pass. Has all kinds of time and is going deep. Concepcion downfield. Beautiful play to knock it away by Dorian Strong. Concepcion had a step. Ball just ever so slightly underthrown, and that gave Strong the opportunity to close the gap.
Yeah, and he knows that the ball was underthrown, and really he's like, look, first I got beat, but I should have caught this. I should have intercepted that underthrown football. Good job of getting back in recovery, but if he was in good position, that could have been an interception. And Concepcion says, look, man, I was there. So I had a beat on my double move. You got to get me the football.
Gets a little bit of a breather. 2nd down and 10. That play stopped the clock now with 1:15 left to go in this first half. Whistle's going to blow this one dead before we even get going.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Unforced error that time against the Pack. Coming up at halftime, Kelsey Riggs and the Huddle crew going to be in Atlanta. Get you caught up on our auto owners insurance halftime report. Louisville clinching, they're heading to Charlotte. Got Wake Forest facing a very familiar foe. Look around the ACC. Set for Tech and Syracuse, both teams with 5 wins, looking to become bowl eligible tonight inside Bobby Dodd. 2nd down and 15. Armstrong to throw. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Got blockers in front of him. Brought down at the 43. NC State's going to call one of those timeouts right here.
First charge timeout. NC State.
Yeah, Armstrong got hit really hard on the end of this play.
Kind of a drop 8. Only brought 3 rushers, and Armstrong does a good job, really good play call of just the QB draw, and you see him take this.
Wilfred Penny. Bang. Penny checks in at about 285, so.
Armstrong tough, man. That's just going to get him more fired up.
Wolfpack have converted on their last 2 third down opportunities. This one a lengthy one at midfield, 3rd and 8.
They have a kicker who kicked a 57-yarder earlier in the year. Like to get a few more yards at least to give him a chance.
And they'll get more than that. That'll move the sticks. Porter Rooks with a nice catch and a 1st down.
And great pass, great delivery by Brennan Armstrong. And Porter Rooks does a great job of just finding that seam. That's a great pitch and catch for a 1st down. A couple good plays in a row to get out of 2nd and very long and into 3rd and manageable.
Armstrong has time. Good play defensively. Canteen was able to make a break on the ball. Armstrong threw it where he had to throw it to get it to Collins, but good defensive play by Canteen. Tenth play of this drive. NC State's done a nice job of converting 3rd downs and running the clock down, but now they're in a spot where just 2 timeouts on the board. Need to move the football. Just on the outskirts of Braden Narvis in field goal range. And NC State wants to call a timeout here.
Second charge timeout. NC State. 30 seconds.
You mentioned Narvison has a big leg to transfer from Western Kentucky. Hit that 57-yarder earlier in the year, but some swirling wind down there today. And I think if Dave Doran had his druthers, he'd like to get at least 1 more 1st down or get it inside the 30 to really give him a better shot.
Yeah, well, you know that you are at least in field goal attempt range right? Like that's a given. So as long as you don't get a holding penalty or something to back you up another 10 yards, you're saying, okay, we're at least have a shot at a field goal. But you do want to get closer, and also too, I mean, you have enough time to score. So, I mean, goal number 1, picking up a 1st down here, getting in the end zone. But your play calling is such where you don't let Brennan Armstrong put the ball in harm's way.
Hokies show pressure, come out of it, bring just 4. Now Armstrong will run it. Shook off 1 tackle. He's able to dive forward on the pick of about 7. Jalen Jones on the stop. Now he's inside the 30, facing a 3rd down and 4. Clock continues to run. Pack do have that 1 timeout still on the board. Armstrong to throw, has Concepcion open, avoids an offender and scores!
Wow, how about that? KC Concepcion again, and just a very similar play like the one to Porter Rooks on that 3rd down and long. This time KC Concepcion does a great job right here of working back in and just, beats Dorian Strong. Stays out wide, great delivery before the safety gets there, and great pitch and catch by Brennan Armstrong and his top wide receiver.
Narvison with the PAT. What a move by Concepcion after the catch at the 7-yard line. Already a couple of touchdowns today.
Yeah. And he does a lot for his offense. I mean, he really does. And this will give a good idea of the vision. He makes a really good early move on Dorian Strong, and it just provides enough separation where, hey, my seam player, I juke him, I get past him, and that leads to 2 touchdowns.
He is letting you know he's got 2 on the day, and we still have a half of football remaining to be played. And by the way, NC State gets the 2nd half kickoff, and they've scored on 3 straight possessions, 3 straight touchdowns.
We saw Brennan Armstrong last week against Wake Forest really lead on the ground, right? Did a lot on the ground, running the football, and this week he is the most comfortable I've seen him as a passer, as a runner, and he looks like he's playing free, and his wide receivers are the beneficiary of that confidence.
Dave Doran said, offensive coordinator Robert and I said Concepcion has to get the football. And you saw the fist pump there from Doran to an eye. That's what I'm talking about. What did Doran say? Spin the dial.
Yeah.
I want him to spin the dial, man.
He told
Make it hard on defenses.
Yeah, he told Robert and I, just do it. Let it spin, right? And I talked to Coach and I before the game and said, how's it working for Dave Doran? Seems like a pretty good guy. And he said, he goes, Mark, I'm at the age now where I'm not working for anyone. I'm working with people. And he's a great man to work with. And you saw that in that fist bump there. It's kind of how he talks, too. Real casual, lighthearted guy.
Right. From the Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah.
He's got that laid-back culture.
Doing it for a long time at a high level.
This offense is certainly humming at a high level. And the big play on the kick return and on the reverse, the score by Xavier and Turner Bradshaw. The only offense they really were able to muster during that entire half. Keon Lassane is going to let it go over his head and out of the back of the end zone. So NC State scoring on their last 3 drives in that first half. Will look to make it 4 in a row here to start the second.
Yeah, and you see the discrepancy in the amount of plays run. And as NC State played the clock well and gets the ball back to start the second half, that's going to be even greater a disparity. But you have to get the ball in the hands of your offense, right? A 3 and out here for Virginia Tech would be so big to try to gain some momentum.
Mims spins his way out of the defender's arms and picks up 4. Jenkins eventually tracked him down. Very nimble on his feet for 5'11", 215 pounds.
Yeah, he runs hard and he's got good balance and good feet. And you mentioned Michael Allen, the leading rusher, is out today, so a lot more of Raphael and Delbert Mims.
You see Raphael in the game now, 2nd down and 6. Pressure from the edge. Armstrong gets rid of it. Has his receiver. That was Takari Collins on the receiving end. Armstrong got popped. It looked like Keontae Jenkins on that linebacker blitz.
See Jenkins off the bottom of your screen. Nice clean tackle. Or hit, I should say. That still hurts, though.
Right in the ribs. Hurts a lot less when you move the sticks. Fresh set of downs for the Pack. Armstrong rolls the pocket. Too high for Penix.
It's a frustrating miss for Brennan Armstrong. But you see that difference, right? It's the bootleg out to the left, right? It's just a different feel for everybody. Blockers, route runners.
Again, Jenkins showing blitz. He backs out of it. Huge hole up the front, up the middle for Raphael. And he goes through the front door. Jenkins was able to make the tackle. But a quick 6 yards for Raphael.
Yeah, they just do a good job of creating space. And the left tackle, Anthony Belton, just separates the defensive end from the rest of the defense. And great job of finding the hole and hitting it.
3rd down. The Pack have converted on their last 4 opportunities. And this is your moment if you're Virginia Tech's defense, like you said, Mark, to get off the field with the ball in NC State territory. And they won't do it, though. Raphael wide open. Inside the 40, finally pushed out of bounds by Jaden McDonald. Put a huge gain on 3rd down. 23 yards.
Yeah, and so they put KC Concepcion over here and run him a route, and they just do a good job of sneaking the running back away from him. All the attention you're going to KC Concepcion, well, we're going to throw it to the opposite side of the field, and really good play design and pickup for NC State.
And on first down, NC State again huddling, and it just churns clock. And they go on these drives, and they move the chains. Armstrong underneath, wide open to Lassane. Still on his feet, trying to get to that first down marker. Going to be just a little bit shy as McDonald again makes the stop.
And again, they're going to use KC Concepcion as the decoy. They're bringing him deep so the quarterback sits deeper, and it just allows a free access throw. I mean, you see eyes of number 4 are on KC Concepcion the whole way. And so even when he's not receiving the football, his threat of production is getting other guys open on this field.
Play clock inside of 10. That is just something you do not see very often in college football anymore. Armstrong under center, but flags fly all over the place.
Before the snap, false start, offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Belton on the false start.
And they've done this before where they're going to start offset to try to get the defense lined up wrong. Sometimes defensive linemen will look at the quarterback and they kind of had that offset position. Then he walks up under center. And a mistake, costly mistake for NC State.
We go from 2nd and 1 to 2nd and 6.
There's Concepcion right there.
Armstrong to throw. Concepcion's got it. First down, Wolfpack.
I mean, just for such a young guy to be able to run these routes the way, I mean, just boom, just a really good outside step, and you know he's working on a linebacker, which is going to be a mismatch. That star position for Virginia Tech, and you know, when you have that matchup, Brennan Armstrong knew the entire time he was going to go to Concepcion, and great job with the patience and waiting for that route to develop.
You can see Concepcion's numbers on the day, catching the ball, running the football. Now he's in the backfield. Armstrong will pitch it. Mims cut down at the line of scrimmage. Job by Jalen Stroman. Darius Payne also in on the tackle.
Another misdirection play here. Concepcion, they fake it to him and then pitch it outside, but Virginia Tech said, look, forget all that stuff. Let's just get pressure. Let's get penetration up the field. That time it was Keyshawn Burgos, number 2, who just got up in the backfield and really blew that play up.
This drive has taken the first 5 minutes off the clock here in this second half. 2nd down and 12, 9th play. Concepcion in motion, now back to the middle, fakes it to him. Armstrong to throw, has a lot of pressure, can't quite get it connected to Raphael. Jenkins applied the pressure. We saw Concepcion run in to make sure his quarterback was all right.
And actually a pretty good throw. You turn that much pressure, you change your arm angle, and you just whip it out there. That one should have been caught.
Yeah, Raphael knows it.
And, you know, just a heck of an individual effort by Brennan Armstrong to even get that out there.
Yeah, right. It was a good replay to see that arm angle, side-arming it out there. Where his player could catch it. Now 3rd and 12.
All right, Concepcion, where is he? Where's Waldo?
He's in the slot, and Armstrong's looking his way, but pressure comes, goes the other way to Mims, has a blocker in front of him. Mims inside the 10, tackled at about the 1. They'll mark him out at the 2. Stroman and Tisdale were able to make the tackle. What a play by Armstrong, too, to go to the other side.
Yeah, and very similar play. This time it's a running back screen to the weak side in the 3-by-1 formation, and just a good job of executing. And as Virginia Tech continues to cheat safeties over to KC Concepcion's side, NC State and Robert Anaya trying to attack the opposite.
Jalen Stroman shaking up a bit on the play, being attended to by the staff. We'll take a quick break here in the second half.
6. just been really efficient.
First and goal from the 2. Armstrong will keep. Down to the goal line, and he's marked down just shy. Official on the far side coming in and marking him just inches shy of the goal line.
He wanted number 4 bad. You see him right there.
And now we've got another injured Virginia Tech Hokie. That's Noah Pollard. One of the captains, carries the lunch pail. Had his family here before with the senior day. He walked before the game. He's on his feet, so that's a good sign. We'll take a quick break. 21-7, NC State on top.
Once you pick up an Arby's cheesesteak,
Get up, finding his backs out of the backfield.
Yeah, it's been a lot more through the air than we were used to in the first half, and you get Lassane involved, and then back to Mims for the screenplay that brings them all the way down inside the 5-yard line, and they're about an inch away from the end line, from the end zone. And Brennan Armstrong could potentially be in for his 4th touchdown in this game if he decides to keep it.
5 for 7, 70 yards on this drive. He's going to run it, and he's going to score.
I mean, you're a quarterback, you transfer in here to be the guy, and you don't have a lot of success early on in your stint at NC State, you get benched, right? Then another guy comes in who looks like he's going to be the future, and so they say, okay, how are we going to sprinkle you in? We're going to let you run the ball, have 2-quarterback system. Then MJ Morris says, all right, I want a red shirt, and so Armstrong gets a second chance of glory, and he's making the most of it for sure.
Narvison, the PAT, sneaks it in. 12 plays, 75 yards. They took off the first 5 minutes and 57 seconds off the clock here in the second half. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns in their last 4 drives going back to the first half. After a slow start, that man right there and his coaching staff, in particular Robert and I, the offensive coordinator, have figured things out today.
Yeah, no, I mean, they definitely have, and this whole entire coaching staff for NC State is so impressive, right? And not to mention, Tony Gibson, right? His defense hasn't had to defend on very many plays, but that's because they've been doing it really well. Only 18 plays still run by Virginia Tech, and this entire team, so far at least, this is a team effort win if they do end up getting this win, which they are in complete control of this game right now. A lot of time left, though.
25 is now number 98. 25 is now number 8. 34 became 98.
Well, Virginia Tech used a big kickoff from Bashal Tootin in the first half to set up their only score. They need another one right here. Colin Smith lets it fly. Tootin won't get the chance. Instead, it's Malachi Thomas. Gets a block from Tootin, but gets stopped right at the 24. Sherry, what do you got for us?
Chris, I've been watching Brennan Armstrong the entire game down here on the sideline, and he is just so calm, cool, and collected. And we had a really great chat this week on the phone, and he told me he likes to disengage and re-engage when he's down here on the sideline, even in the huddle. He just wants to focus on what he needs to accomplish. You and Mark have talked about it. He said he doesn't need to put up 30, 40 points. He can rely on the defense, and we both admitted we're kind of perfectionists, and he's working on that and knowing he doesn't have to put the entire game on his shoulders. And he kind of got the mentality, too, from taking reps with the 2s when he was benched and bringing that to now being a starter here again.
Only 3 first downs this defense has given up. That's 4, and finally a big play in the passing game. Jalen Lane is able to bring it in, and just like that, Virginia Tech is in NC State territory.
Well, there you go. Good job. Jalen Lane with the sail route and just finds the open spot in the zone defense. Good job of getting the quarterback on the perimeter and having a nice solid completion downfield.
Drones again to throw. Pressure picked up. Going to the end zone. Has a receiver touchdown. Da'Quan Felton continues to make big plays in the passing game. 42 yards. Hokies are not done yet.
And what a throw by Kyron Drones. Really good play design by Tyler Bowen, and just a phenomenal, accurate deep ball. And we talked about it. Hey, he throws a good deep ball, and if he wants to take the shot, it's going to be to Da'Quan Felton. Well, they wanted to take the shot, and this drive didn't take too many plays, and Virginia Tech, great response.
Love with the PAT. And 16 passing yards in the first half, 76 on those 2 plays.
And look, they have everybody. All 4 of these guys are into the boundary, so all the defense is over here. Well, now we got a one-on-one. And this just does a great job looking off the safety initially and just throwing it up on the outside. And talk about holding the red line on these deep balls. Da'Quan Felton lines up. A little bit of a cut split inside, and he has so much room towards the sideline. Really good play design by Tyler Bowen, knowing that he is going to get a one-on-one matchup, and then great execution by his quarterback and wide receiver. There's Bowen right there. Really
Coach probably calls him Tebow.
Tebow, great offensive mind. He's talking to him too. I mean, everything has a purpose. They script out these plays, and he's really excited about what Kyron Drones can do with this offense. And that was a phenomenal strike.
Touchback on the kick. Hey, tomorrow on the ACC Network, you can catch a women's college basketball game, 2 o'clock Eastern, number 25 Oklahoma and Virginia, followed by Bucknell visiting number 19 Louisville. At 6 o'clock, it's a new edition of All Access, the ACC Life, highlighting Notre Dame women's soccer playing in the NCAA tournament and more. Catch all that action on the ACC Network, and as always, streaming live on the ESPN app. Well, the offense, after that long drive, didn't get much of a rest. Right back out there. Concepcion. Driven out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. Now the crowd's starting to get into it a little bit. First it was the offense mark, now the defense making a play.
Yeah, and just a really good job of Anton Powell-Ryland, APR, maintaining the edge of that defense, having his eyes across the field. And I mean, you see him right here, just does a good job of, on the other side, just does a really good job of maintaining that leverage on the outside.
Second down and 10. Low snap handled by Armstrong. Nice pass. Receiver stays in bounds, picks up a couple extra yards. That's Bradley Rosner. His first couple of catches of the year in this game, Mark. And by my recollection, his first catch in the first half also moved the chains, as this one does.
Absolutely. You know, they can get more guys involved in this pass game. It's going to be only a benefit, because not everything can be on Concepcion or little screens away from these running backs.
Now pressure on the edge. Armstrong eludes it. Right up the middle. First down and a lot more. 30. Splits the defenders down to the 16.
It's just so fun to watch him run the football. And just, he does with attitude. And you see, he's just trying to make something out of nothing here. And, you know, early he's like, okay, let me just not get hit. And then all of a sudden he sees, okay, wait a second, I'm in the open. Let me get the most of this. And he's going to deliver a shot at the end to Dorian Strong. And that is a guy who embraces physicality and contact and has speed that can break away from the defense.
Now over 100 yards rushing on the day after that 43-yard jaunt. Concepcion, he's going to throw it as a receiver, wide open. Touchdown, Wolfpack. Trent Penix. Number 10 can do it all, and he has done it all today.
Yeah, not with this action, back and forth. I mean, here we go. And this time another one. Another little, trickeration down in the red zone. And you get Penix at the top of the point. He just leaks out as you get that double pass. And, handoff to Concepcion. You see just the fake blocking, the stalk blocking, and leaks out in behind the defense. And, another creative call by Robert Nye.
Both teams striking quickly. The Hokies took only 2 plays to score. Wolfpack come right back. 4 plays, 75 yards. Penix on the receiving end from KC Concepcion. The freshman can do it all. Pack in the lead.
"31 sacks in his last 2 years of football. 31 sacks in 2 years is insane.
Like that quintessential undersized, chip on your shoulder, whirling dervish out there on the field.
And he's getting to watch another maybe potential Nagurski Award winner, and Peyton Wilson was named to the Butkus semifinal list as well as the Nagurski semifinal list. Was Peyton Wilson, and
Wilson's back out there with this Wolfpack defense. Only 2 offensive snaps in the second half for Virginia Tech, and they were both wildly successful, scoring on one of them the last time they had the ball. Now Drones has all kinds of time, and he's going for Lane. Almost a beautiful catch just beyond his outstretched hands.
And man, he had him, and it was a really well-delivered football. Lane just kind of slows up and was able to leap backwards, not able to extend enough. And just really surprising how wide open he got. A good job of the offensive line protecting against this NC State rush.
Wilson's coming on the blitz. It's picked up. Now Drones is in all kinds of trouble and just has to chuck it away into the stands. Jalen Scott on the pressure, which will bring up 3rd down and 10. Hokies have yet to convert a 3rd down today. They've only had 4 opportunities. Heck, they've only had 22 plays this entire game.
And NC State brings in their 3rd down rush package and bring number 47, Red Hibbler, on the field, who's that pass rush specialist. See him right there.
Play clock winding down. Drones gets it. Flushed. He's going to have to do it on his own and can't come anywhere close.
I mean, so Hibbler got that initial pressure, but Peyton Wilson came out of nowhere. I mean, he was rushing inside. You see him here. Just follow him the entire play, right? And he's dropping away. Look how far away he is. And then that's relentless pursuit by a linebacker. He's all the way on the right-hand side of the formation and just sprints past everyone to take down the QB. That's the type of player that he is.
Fair catch made at the 25 by Jalen Coyle. Talk about Wilson's speed. How about this tackle coming back into the play against Notre Dame earlier?
Yeah, and this is ridiculous. He had number 11 trailing him down. He was recorded at running at 23.7 miles per hour on that play. I mean, just the speed to hawk down the ball carrier. And in that week, right, according to Next Gen Stats and all the NFL stats, he was the fastest moving player. He would have been the fastest moving player in the NFL if it was the NFL. I mean, he ran faster than Tyreek Hill has been clocked at this year. Tyreek Hill's fastest is 22.07 miles per hour, and Peyton Wilson ran faster than that on that play against Notre Dame. That's impressive. And if he can run like that at the combine, I mean, watch out.
Armstrong picked up a couple on first down. What do you got for us, Sherry?
Defensive coordinator Tony Gibson, there we go. He told us that Peyton Wilson is a guy like he's never had before in his 29 years of coaching college football, 22 at the Power 5 level. He just plays so hard and cares about his teammates. And we're even seeing that when it comes to recruiting. Coach Gibson's talking to a linebacker looking to come to NC State. They bring up the fact that Wilson is just playing so light out and his teammates just feed off his energy.
Yeah, his teammates like Jalen Scott. You talk about Caden Fordham, young man out of Ponte Vedra, Florida, who was taken under Wilson's wing. Might be the next great linebacker here at NC State. 3rd down and 6. Armstrong to throw, rolls the pocket. Lassane makes the catch. 1st down, out of bounds at the 43.
Great job of Brennan Armstrong moving outside the pocket and finding Keon Lassane. Lassane just runs this quick out route, and the defenders, they bail. And just a really good job of finding that open spot in the flat. Armstrong found his man. Just miscommunication by the Virginia Tech linebackers and secondary, and who was going to pick up that man in the flat.
Armstrong to throw again. That time could not quite hook up with his receiver. Juice Vereen. Jalen Jones with a nice job in coverage to knock it away.
Brennan Armstrong, good job coming back to his man, and a pretty good throw, but really good play by Jalen Jones, who also was a former wide receiver. Switched over to defensive back, and great job of getting that left hand in there.
Like Concepcion, Vereen, also a true freshman. 2nd down and 10. Pressure up the middle, picked up. No chance, though, as Darius Payne is there to make sure the ball carrier got nothing.
Yeah, just a good job of getting in the backfield. And you see him here right in the middle and just unblocked. Did a really good job of the outside swim move, and he was trying to be blocked. He just olayed Anthony Carter. Made a great play in the backfield.
Wolfpack have converted 7 straight on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 10, though, so degree of difficulty goes up.
Concepcion spotting right there. See linebackers bumping over to him.
Armstrong tried to get it to Lassane, and that play blew up, so Armstrong just threw it into the dirt. Now we got a little bit of shoving downfield. Officials quick to step in and make sure everybody's separated.
Big Anthony Belton in there. And if I'm picking fights with people, it is not with number 74. 6'6", 336 pounds.
Caden Newton-Kester is in to punt for the first time since the 3-minute and 19-second mark of the first quarter. Short kick. Holloway came up to call a fair catch, and he just waves everybody off. It'll be Virginia Tech ball at the 28. Let's not forget, coming up tonight at 8 o'clock, the ACC Network primetime matchup. 2 teams coming in at 5-5, looking to become bowl eligible. Syracuse taking on Georgia Tech. Not only can you see that game on the ACC Network, but also streaming live on the ESPN app. And then don't forget on Friday, Miami and Boston College coming your way on ABC, day after Thanksgiving.
Be fun to see what Syracuse decides to do against Georgia Tech. They ran the ball almost every single play last time out. They had Dan Villari, their tight end, playing quarterback. And
how did that happen? I mean, they ran the ball for 400 yards last week at Yankee Stadium. Direct snap to Villari, just pick and choose your way and go for 400 yards. Drones, 1st down. Tight end took a shot. That was Da'Quan Wright. He's still down.
Yeah, it was Jalen Scott who
rang his bell.
Flyby shoulder shot.
Crowd here oohing and eyeing as they saw it on the replay on the Jumbotron. That is a hit.
Yep, and he's a runner, not defenseless, and that is a shoulder, so the only thing that can be targeting is if there's a crown to the helmet, and that was very legal and very hard. Good hit by Jalen Scott.
First down for the Hokies. Drones again to throw, and he's got time. And he's got a receiver. Felton inside the 45. Hokies now back in NC State territory. Sean Brown on coverage, 17 yards, and we're still in the third quarter here.
Yeah, and it's not really where they want to live in throwing the ball downfield like this, but it was such an accurate throw from Kyron Drones, and really good job of finding that open window behind the cornerback. They're putting some faith in his arm to be able to throw it downfield.
Drones to throw again. Now pressure forces him out of the pocket. That would have been a tough completion as you had Lane stretching out to get it, but it was just too far out of his reach. That stops the clock with 33 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Second down and 10 coming up for the Hokies. Lane in motion. Drones rolling it out. Throwing it back to Lane. Needs some help from the blocker, and he's going to get it. Inside the 30, down to the 24.
Great execution on this play, and you see Lane, he's going to go in and out, and the whole defense loses him for a second, then he makes guys miss. Just really good job, good play design again by Tyler Bowen.
19 yards. Whistle before the snap.
This is the end of the third quarter.
Got 33 seconds, ran off the clock, so third quarter comes to an end. Here on this drive, and now 1st and 10 inside of Wolfpack territory. Drones has a receiver wide open, and Da'Quan Felton just dropped it.
Ooh, he was wide open too. Ran a dice route where you get 5 guys just on stop routes and you try to space out the defense, and Drones found the open space and tough drop.
Immediately looking up at the Jumbotron like, how did I miss that? I need video evidence of me dropping that because I can't believe it. 2nd and 10. Drones has all kinds of time into traffic. Lucky that one didn't get picked off. Once again, Da'Quan Wright is shaken up.
Yeah, and he got hung out to dry by his quarterback on that play.
He's taking a couple of hits. He's holding that left knee. We'll take one more look at this one. Pump fake from Drones into all kinds of traffic. Incomplete. We'll take a quick break. Back with more. Back in Blacksburg, Da'Quan Wright walked off under his own power. There he is on the sideline. Hokies facing a 3rd down and 10. Shoot and split to the top of your screen. Empty backfield for Drones. Now pressure comes, gets rid of it, but nowhere near his receiver, Da'Quan Felton. Looks like David Vann may have tipped that ball at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, it's good pressure off the edge by Red Hibbler again, and between the edge pressure and just the push up the middle, too much for Drones. And now on 4th down and 10 and down 21 points, this is a gotta-have-it situation.
Let's see what kind of pressure NC State dials in. They're going to want to bring everything. Free play here, though. Going to the end zone, back shoulder.
Pass
couldn't hit it
interference,
with
probably.
Felton.
Ooh, I thought it could have been pass interference at the end of that, too.
Yeah, I think the fans might have wanted it as well. They're not going to get it.
Offside, defense, number 47, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
They'll get the offside on Hibbler. Take another look at the end zone here at the end of this play.
Yeah, this, again, a back shoulder throw. It looks like there's restriction, but on second look, I think the ball was just underthrown. And I think it's a good no call. Now it's 4th and 5 instead of 4th and 10. Good job using the hard count.
Drones looks to the sideline. He's got Bashal Tootin in the backfield with him. Again, the Pack bring all kinds of pressure. Defended beautifully. Tried to get it to Lane, and Devin Boykin was there to knock it away in one-on-one coverage. Turnover on downs. Tony Gibson is right there to congratulate Boykin on the play. Wolfpack take over.
Yeah, Devin Boykin from that safety position, he just does a great job, right? You see it's 3-on-3. They brought pressure on the back end, and just a great break on the football. Delivery was a little bit late. I think it could have been a little bit earlier from Kyron Drones, but either way, that is a big play on 4th down by Devin Boykin.
So Brennan Armstrong looks to continue his strong day. 18 of 26, 203 yards, couple of touchdowns through the air, 116 on the ground. And this young man right here has also had a special day. Concepcion picks up another 10 on the ground.
And Dave Doran talked about wanting to silence the crowd. I don't know if I've ever heard it this quiet in this stadium, to be honest. You know, that 4th down stop and this kind of dominating performance by NC State. To Virginia Tech's fans' credit, they're all still here, which is good to see, but not as much energy.
No, they've been relegated to pizza and turkey leg eating contests.
That's true.
In the stadium. Nothing wrong with that, though, by the way. Mims picking him up and putting him down all the way to the 44. Sherry, what's going on?
In addition, guys, to it being the fans not as into the game, it is very chilly and brisk down here. I know you guys can kind of feel it up there. And I got to tell you, on both sidelines, NC State and Virginia Tech, the most popular places are right in front of the space heaters.
Feel for you, Sherry. Mark has gone soft on us, too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm up here shivering.
He was talking to me about how cold he was up here.
You know,
I got Sean's from Florida. He's barely, our statistician, he's barely even in shirt sleeves. You're looking for another Parker to layer up with, and you're from Boston.
It's embarrassing.
Mims cuts it back, loses a shoe, doesn't gain a yard. Got a player down on the field. And that's going to be a member of the Hokies. We'll get you an update on this young man's condition when we come back. 35-14, NC State on top.
Dabo Sweeney's cap.
Dabo set by Clemson stock low a couple of weeks ago, right?
He did.
Looks like it's been a good investment so far. Looking to continue that today. Mims met in the backfield. Whole host of Virginia Tech tacklers. He's going nowhere. Delane and Payne bringing the pain.
Delane and Payne, what a duo.
Delane and Payne. That does sound pretty cool.
It's like a 1990s cop show. Delane and Payne out on the streets, taking down bad guys. Anyways,
Payne, the transfer from Nebraska, he's from Suffolk, Virginia, had his whole family here when he walked for senior day before the game. They obviously like that play. They'll like it a lot better if this defense can get off the field on 3rd down, and they will.
Hit.
Concepcion gets hit by Delane. Didn't need Payne that time. He brought the pain himself.
We could go all day. Just keep them out there making plays. Good stop. Good stop by Virginia Tech. I mean, again, there's almost 12 minutes left in the 4th quarter, down 21 points. You can still get back in it, right? But you got to score fast. And they've been trying to take shots downfield, and this is going to be, this is a got-to-have-it type situation. Down 3 scores. You got to get the ball in the end zone on this drive for Virginia Tech.
Tucker Holloway standing at his own 19. That's a high kick, good kick. Holloway's going to have to call a fair catch at the 7. So we showed you Virginia and Duke, that score. So you got an idea of what's going on in that game. The rest, around the rest of Virginia, see this 10-1 right here? It means James Madison lost today to App State. Game day was there in Harrisonburg, just up the Shenandoah Valley from where we are here. And still an unbelievable season for JMU, and to not go to a bowl game, it's a shame, but App State with a big win on the road. Leaves the Liberty Flames as the lone unbeaten team in the Commonwealth. Drones. Tried to hit Malachi Thomas off his hands. Drones hasn't gotten a whole lot of help from his receivers today, has he?
No, he hasn't, but I think, a lot of it is, NC State is playing really good coverage on the outside. I mean, coming into this game, Aiden White and Shaheem Battle, the two corners, probably were coming off their two best games of their career, and so they've carried that momentum over to today and just really have not been a lot open when NC State goes man-to-man.
Drones pumps, now hits Lane. And Lane powers his way close to the first down. That's a good individual effort. Right at the stick. They're going to give him a first down.
It's a good job just picking it up. And honestly, if I'm NC State, this is what I want to see. I want to see 3-yard, 4-yard passes that are tackled inbounds and keep the clock moving.
Pack bring just 3, allowing Drones to hit his receiver underneath. Wilson with another tackle, pickup of about 4.
Again, another, NC State's going to give that to them all day. 3-yard pass right in front of Peyton Wilson, a short tackling linebacker. That's the throw they want Drones to make.
Almost intercepted right through the hands of Wright, and Boykin can't believe he couldn't squeeze it.
Well, and this is the play that NC State cannot allow to have happen. And it's another very similar play to what NC State had success on, just to bend behind the linebacker, and once he passes Peyton Wilson, the ball's delivered, and that ball should have been caught, and then it should have been intercepted.
Yeah, you heard Dave Doran say at the halftime interview with Sherry, if there's one thing we need to do a better job of, it's creating turnovers. And a shot there, couldn't get it done. 3rd down, Drones. Felton, first down.
It's a big throw by Drones going through his progression. Just not forcing the football right now. He knows the situation in the game, but hey, I can still take what the defense gives me. And found Felton for a first down.
First 3rd down conversion of the day for the Hokies. Drones again to throw. Slides the pocket to the right. Downfield. Too high. That one is intercepted by Boykin. Flag down. Boykin's going to make the most of it as he has blockers in front of him inside the 20. Down inside the 5. Let's check the marker because it's right at the spot where the pick was made.
Yeah, it's going to get called back for pass interference, I'm assuming. It did look like Boykin got a bump on Stephen Gosnell before that ball got there.
Pass interference, defense, number 12. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Boykin did a lot of running after that pick, too. Now he's got to go back out there.
There was minimal contact. He did touch him at the top of the route, and really, honestly, in full speed, it looked like more of a bump than it did when it was slowed down, and I do think that caused Stephen Gosnell to have trouble handling the football. I think it was the right call.
Yeah, it looked like it caused Gosnell not to be able to jump as high as he would have liked. Now Drones can run it if he chooses to do so, and he does. Picks up about 8 yards.
Tackled by Caden Fordham, who has become kind of the protege of Peyton Wilson, and Wilson took him under his wing and has been developing this young linebacker, trying to pass the torch.
That is a nice pass. Tucker Holloway was able to come down with it. Good pass and catch.
That ball was thrown really nicely. And right over the outstretched arms of Aiden White, who was just trying, said, hey, I got an interception here. And just a perfectly thrown ball.
Getting Tucker Holloway involved. Special teams demon now on the offensive end. Another first down.
But a lot of time has been coming off the clock.
Now pressure on the edge. Drones has got to throw it away. And he does just that. Had a receiver, Gosnell. Benji Gosnell, the younger than Gosnell brothers in the area. As Noah Potter was breathing down his neck.
Ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. There was an eligible receiver in the area. Second down.
Really good pass rush by Potter. So many playmakers on this defense for NC State, just continuing to pump out guys. And didn't, Tony Gibson said, look, this is probably the best defensive front that I've had the pleasure of coaching in my 29 years of
it's pretty amazing
being a coordinator.
Right there. Thomas spins away. Now he's got blockers. Inside the 15, brought down at the 12.
24, Malachi Thomas on the carry. First down.
That was a really good individual effort by Thomas, Malachi Thomas. Just watch at the end, watch Peyton Wilson, right? Like, great run, but there's a white blur that comes out of nowhere, and just a guy playing faster than everybody else in the field, and that's Peyton Wilson.
10th play of this drive that started on their own 8-yard line. Drones. Second level, touchdown, Hokies. Da'Quan Felton with another touchdown catch. Say what you will, Mark. It took a lot of time off the clock, but that's an impressive drive.
Hey, you did what you needed to do. You had to get in the end zone on that drive. And, if it takes a little bit longer, fine. But this is a necessary thing, all right? We can rush up the next couple of series if we have to. But just a really good drive and really accurate throws by Kyron Drones. And great job by Felton on multiple occasions coming up big for his quarterback.
10 plays, 92 yards. And they went 92 yards in under 4 minutes.
Yep. That's what you want to do.
So Coach Pry has to be pleased with his offense. Getting cooking here in the second half. Still down 2 scores, though, here in the fourth.
Charge timeout. NC State.
NC State wants to call a timeout.
30 seconds.
We saw how Virginia Tech was lining up on the kickoff, possibly an onside kick.
Yeah, and NC State came out with their hands team, and Virginia Tech, got a surprise onside recovery last week against Boston College, and this could be a potential situation where it's a 2-possession game at least. We want to try to kick an onside kick and get the ball back.
When you were in the NFL, you played on a lot of special teams. This is a big moment for special teams right here. It's like, this is what we work for all season long, to have an opportunity now to show what we can do.
Yeah, and interestingly, NC State goes away from their hands team and gets their normal kick return team out on the field, and they got to be ready for a slow roller. I mean, Virginia Tech capitalized on that last week, and I'm not sure exactly why you would get all those guys back there, because you don't really need a return. You just can't give up an onside kick.
And Lowe is going to kick it deep for the Hokies. And Lassane will call for a fair catch inside his 5-yard line. Virginia Tech has done yeoman's work defensively these last couple of drives, Mark. 11 plays, 41 yards, 3 first downs, but they've kept themselves in the game here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they have, and they've eliminated the big plays from Brennan Armstrong in this fourth quarter so far. but they need another one. You go down by that many points that early, every single time that the opponent has the ball, you got to stop them. You got to stop them fast.
The big Penix. I had a feeling this was going to be a quarterback run with Penix in the backfield. Flags down in the backfield.
Armstrong took a big hit.
Yeah, he's the type of player that likes to deliver the hit too, Mark.
Offense, number 53. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, and I want to say it might have been Jalen Jones, number 15, who gets the hit right there on Armstrong. And Jalen Jones just left the field as well. Keep an eye on Armstrong. He is a tough guy.
Some ball carriers, when they carry the ball, it's hard to hit them directly.
Yep.
I feel like Armstrong, he gets hit and he delivers hits. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's not doing a lot of dodging or avoiding at the end of runs.
Virginia Tech defense stands up, stopping Raphael for no gain, maybe even a loss of a yard. Pollard, the lunch pail carrier, in the mix.
Yeah, and Jaden McDonald, number 38, gets in there as well. And just a really good job of coming off the edge by McDonald and slowing up the play. And that's exactly what Virginia Tech wants, a holding penalty on first down to back them up. Now a tackle for loss, and it's 2nd and 21. That clock is still running.
Yeah, after the holding penalty, they are backed up. Get the play clock all the way down to 1. Raphael picks up a handful, but it'll bring up a huge third down.
Good job by Stroman. We saw Stroman get banged up a little bit earlier. He came in, made a really nice tackle on the ball carrier. And KC Concepcion, who was out on that last play, is back in the football game. And on 3rd and 17, you got to imagine that Robert Anaya is going to be conservative in his play calls. You do not want to force anything here if you're Brennan Armstrong. Do not get the ball away.
Armstrong will throw it. Flushed. And he's just going to slide down. Pollard was giving chase. And Armstrong just said, slide and keep that clock running.
You can read lips. He's maybe wondering what the heck that was down the field. And they tried to get the routes run deep, but good pressure from Virginia Tech.
Smart play by Armstrong, though, not to throw it away.
Yes.
And not to run out of bounds. Keep that clock rolling, even though it'll force a punt here. 3rd straight punt for NC State. Holloway from his 40. Avoids the first tackler. Looking for a crease. He can't find much of one, but gets it into NC State territory. They'll mark him right at the 50. Hokies trying to mount a huge comeback. They have the ball at midfield when we come back.
With the Venture X card from...
He's just been all over the field tonight. 10 total tackles, a sack, 3.5 tackles for loss, and records his 21st double-digit tackle game of his career.
Still a game with a 14-point lead. Intercepted. This time Bishop Fitzgerald is able to squeeze it. And there's no flag on the field this time. It's going to be a turnover. Dorn got his turnover that he's been calling for all game long from this defense.
On the field is an interception by the defense. First down. NC State.
And Da'Quan Felton is shaken up on the end of this play.
Let's see if he gets underneath the football. Looks like he does.
Can't tell any other way that way. Let's take a look at this angle.
Ooh, Felton, you see, just got that left foot caught up underneath him. He made his way off the field.
Was his hand under it there?
I don't know. It looked like he did have it secured, but
right here, yep.
Does he
complete the catch? He still has it, but it's moving there and then
and
there.
hits the ground. See, that's one I would. That last shot of it, did look like it was moving and hit the ground. Ooh, and the false start is going to give the booth another opportunity to look at it, to be honest.
I feel like that's one that
Before the snap,
anyways.
false start, offense, center, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Got the turnover bone.
You get a turnover, you sign the bone. Whoever has the most signatures at the end of the season gets to keep the bone.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
And then once they get married, they'll probably have to throw it away.
For sure they'll have to throw it away. Or put it in a box somewhere in the corner of the basement.
I can tell you, I mean, I had like a...
They want to put it on the mantle. No, honey.
I had all those things, and from my career, I'm like, yep, they're gone.
Look at Concepcion. Stays in bounds. Tackled by Stroman.
Taken down by 26, Jason Stroman.
Another injured player on the field. That's Josh Fuga. Fuga looks like he's holding his left shoulder. Redshirt senior from Woodbridge, Virginia. Ian Pollard formed a 1-2 punch in the middle of this defensive front for so many years here. Two team captains.
And let's hope he's all right. And I mean, you think about this NC State offense and really how much struggle they had at one point in the season. You know, that Duke game where they only scored 3 points really was a wake-up call for this offense and say, hey, look, we need to start huddling. We need to start change how we do everything. And they had a quarterback, and that quarterback then red shirts, and Brennan Armstrong comes in. And, I mean, what a night for Brennan Armstrong. 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns through the air, 110 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground. And this is a guy who was benched 6 games ago. And all he did was just go to work and get better. And he's had that C on his chest for a reason. He acted like that true captain, and just phenomenal to see him have the success that he's having tonight.
And this Wolfpack team 3 minutes and 33 seconds away from winning their 4th straight. Just in time to welcome North Carolina into Raleigh next Saturday for that rivalry game. You know that stadium, Carter Finley, is going to be rocking next Saturday. Timeout called by Virginia Tech, incidentally, or not incidentally. 28-14, Clemson leading North Carolina right now in Death Valley.
They're first, 30 seconds.
Things went awry for Coach Pry and his Virginia Tech team really in that second quarter. That's when NC State started rolling and scoring touchdowns on successive drives, 4 straight drives, as a matter of fact, into the third quarter. But if you're Coach Pry, Mark, even if you can't come back in this game, I think you have to feel at least okay, pretty good about the way your team played in the second half when they could have rolled over and they did the exact opposite.
Oh, yeah, they definitely didn't roll over. They definitely didn't quit. I think, one thing that you will learn about Virginia Tech and NC State, for that matter, is there is absolutely no quit in any one of these players on the field. And I think there is stuff to be encouraged about, right? Kyron Drones, his accuracy on a lot of his throws was good. Their ability to take shots down the field.
On third down, Concepcion is met and dropped by Delane.
I mean,
second charge timeout. Virginia Tech, 30 seconds.
How about his 4th quarter? Great job beating the block of Mims and lowering that shoulder. You talk about corners that can stop the run. Monsieur Delane certainly has done that tonight.
Just a sophomore from Silver Spring, Maryland. Showing up well in the second half tonight. Second time out of the half called by Virginia Tech. So crazier things have happened, but they'll get an opportunity to get the ball back with over 3 minutes left to go.
Yep, and you got to imagine that if they do want to come back in this game, it's going to take a beamer ball type special teams play of some sort, whether it's on an onside kick recovery or right here on a punt return.
Holloway gets a chance. Splits the first two defenders. Trying to get outside. Down at the 44. Decent field position for the Hokies. And they'll have 2 minutes and 51 seconds to complete this comeback if they can get it done. First things first, got to get a quick strike here. Drones with Malachi Thomas in the backfield. Drones will run, and he's got blockers in front of him. Inside Wolfpack territory. Look at that run. Lowers his shoulder and gets to the 34. That is 6'2", 235 pounds running like that.
NC State's dropping 8, just flooding the zones, and good call with the quarterback draw.
And a wide open receiver. Inside the 15, almost lost a football, but got it back. Da'Quan Wright.
And just saying, go out of bounds. Like, go out of bounds, stop the clock.
He was thinking touchdown.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was at the 15-yard line. Guys all around him. You got to get out of bounds.
Boykin stops the clock with an injury.
And
you see Wright catching his breath.
yeah.
And he's also taking some shots today, too. You've seen on a couple of plays, Da'Quan Wright getting beat up. Big boy, though, 6'4", 250. Let's take a look at this play again. As Wright was wide open in the flat.
Yeah, he was, and he just sneaked out, and Boykin looked like he has eyes in the wrong spot, and right there is where he missed the tackle, and right there, you just go out of bounds. After that first broken tackle, you stay in bounds, and unfortunately for Virginia Tech, the clock does stop here because of the injury.
That's got to be a cramp on Boykin because he got up and he's back on his feet. He'll walk over to the sideline. Get some electrolytes back in him. .209 remaining. Ball on the 14-yard line.
Wright's trying to catch his breath. He's going to be needed at some point these last couple minutes. Really provided a spark at that tight end position with Nick Gallo, their captain and starter at that position, out for the year. Here we go.
NC State brings just 3. Drones. It's about 3 yards. That's going to keep that clock rolling, though. Savion Jackson coming back and making the stop.
Takes it down near the 13-yard line.
Drones wants to move quickly for good reason. Looking to the end zone. As a receiver, Gosnell makes the catch.
What a throw from Kyron Drones. And NC State, again, they dropped 8, dropped everyone back in coverage, and you see Gosnell, number 12, on the left side of your screen, just with a simple corner route. And catches the safety, Sean Brown, a little flat-footed, and a perfectly thrown ball by Drones.
What a second half for Kyron Drones in this Virginia Tech offense. Playing their way back into it. Now 1:40 left to go. They only have one timeout on the board, so they've got to try an onside kick here. But to your point earlier, Mark, it's time for some beamer ball.
Yeah, and they're only going to rush 3 guys, and these guys are tired. I mean, they've been working hard, and look at the time that Kyron Drones has to find that corner route. You know, there's just no pressure in his face, and does a great job of allowing the route to develop, and a good job of Stephen Gosnell coming back to the football and making the throw easier for his quarterback. And here's, okay, if you ever needed a big special teams play, here it is. Virginia Tech down 7 points, 1 timeout left, 1:40 on the clock. It's basically you recover this or you go home.
You can see the offense there, first half versus the second half. Drones, 12 of 23, 209, and 3 touchdowns with that 1 pick in the second half. John Love is going to kick the onside kick. Puts a toe into it, looking for the bounce. And it takes a very fortuitous NC State bounce. Really didn't get the knuckling bounce that he hoped for, and Mims, the running back, fell right on it.
At the 48-yard line.
Just didn't get a funny bounce on it.
He was looking for that two-hopper to have that bounce up in the air, and just really honestly, I think put it out a little bit too far, too fast. And you saw number 33, Bashal Tootin, was the guy they were trying to one-hop that to. And here we are.
With just 1 timeout on the board, Virginia Tech will use it after this play, and Armstrong takes a knee. And it looks like Coach Pry isn't even going to use that final timeout.
Yep, he knows it.
He knows he can just knee it down. Although, I mean, we've seen it already this year. Strange things can sometimes happen. Strange decisions can be made. I would take every timeout you got, because you just don't know what could happen. Bad snap. The shotgun snap could get caught in the grass, and you dribble it back there, and all of a sudden Armstrong can't pick it up. I don't know.
Maybe he takes after this play to try to confuse him.
Now Dave Doran will call a timeout.
NC State.
After running that
30
play
seconds.
clock down. Georgia Tech and Syracuse coming your way at 8 o'clock on the ACC network. Huddle crews down there in Atlanta. They'll get you set, get you updated on what's going on with Virginia, Duke, and North Carolina, Clemson. North Carolina, Clemson being played at this moment over on ESPN. Give you all the highlights of the Louisville-Miami game earlier on in the day. That was a crazy finish. Louisville secured their spot in the ACC championship game. What a year for Coach Brom in his first year back to Louisville. Armstrong again, just trying to run as much clock as possible. Now he's going to take a knee. And now it looks like that final timeout will be called by Coach Pry and Virginia Tech, as the clock is stopped at 45 seconds on 3rd down.
Timeout. Virginia Tech, their 3rd and final timeout. 30 seconds.
Yeah, and right here, right, it's a 40-second play clock. There's 45 seconds left in the game. And you've seen Brennan Armstrong trying to waste those extra seconds every single time.
Right.
Basically, you want to, I wouldn't be surprised if they snap it to Brennan Armstrong and he runs around even longer, right? You got to make sure you get down to that under 40 seconds, and once it hits 39 seconds, you go down. It's just kind of...
Even if it doesn't, though, you can snap it on 4th down if you have 2 seconds left on the clock.
Correct.
Run those 2 seconds off.
Correct.
But I think they would rather not have to snap it one more time. Here it is. Armstrong is going to run around as much as he can. And that's going to do it. Now, we don't need this. Jenkins at the bottom of the pile. Armstrong's already come up. There's his offensive coordinator, Robert Anai, with a head on the top of the helmet there for his quarterback. He knows he's had a great game today on the road in a hostile environment, and a dub on the final scoreboard for NC State.
And because Brennan Armstrong lost all those yards,